How do you envision blockchain changing the world?
So in a kind of immediate, I think the big amazing innovations that will come from blockchain, very much like the internet, are impossible to predict now. We didn't know social networking was going to be the big use case from the internet. In the immediate term, I see the developing world as just a major kind of untapped pool of human capital, and bringing them into the system. That is somewhere where crypto does do it better than the traditional world. As in, is it easier to build banking infrastructure for 3 billion people, or just giving everyone a private key? And when there's no immediate sort of valuable financial services, there's nothing to replace, so there's no switching costs. Therefore, provide a little bit of value with a good crypto product, and you have a good chance of on-ramping a lot of people rapidly. So yeah, I think in the kind of near to medium term, that's going to be a really cool thing to play out.
And how do you think the market for blockchain-based solutions will evolve?
In terms of blockchain-specific solutions and kind of these blockchain as a service things, I think that's potentially like a relatively slow-moving business. Again, there's going to be isolated use cases which crop up everywhere, whether it's peer-to-peer lending or ICOs, things like that, which are going to provide a lot of value. So that's the kind of thing we very much keep our eye on. This year's been the year of kind of stable coins and decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is providing real value at the moment, and stable coins mean that anyone from around the world can access the US dollar and things. There's going to be some cool use cases with that. Not sure exactly what yet, but that's what we're keeping our eye on. Yeah.
Okay. How do you envision blockchain changing the world?
Well, in some senses, I feel like it already has, and I saw it on the ground in my community, where more and more people started coming to the meetups that we're having every week since 2014, and we're having these conversations on a multitude of topics. Not just finance and tech, but sociology and psychology and philosophy and game theory and economics. And it was so amazing, because how often do you get in a room of people from all walks of life and have those kind of really rich conversations? And part of it was just the nature of the group itself and the facilitator that was fantastic, but also it's that the field of cryptocurrency calls us to actually consider all these types of things, and to really understand it, you need to learn about all these different fields. And so for me, that's real impact. Like, even if it hasn't been adopted as general payment methods for everybody, the change happens in the mind, in the mindset, and how people view the world, and how financial systems should be organized, or how technological systems and business models of profit sharing and media, so it calls you to question that. And I think that in itself will lend itself to birthing a new generation of people that have different types of thoughts that they'll integrate into designing and creating new products to come.
And how do you think the market for the blockchain-based solutions will evolve?
I think that the market will evolve to adjust to what users really want, what they can actually bear themselves to participate in. And right now it's a lot at the funding stage. So it's what are investors willing to put capital behind, and what projects actually gain traction. I think that there's a lot of corporate and enterprise level interests that are really pushing forward, and so it's almost a little bit of a race to who is going to be the one or a conglomerate of some to push user adoption. And what I mean by that is, is it centralized, or is it decentralized, or is it some interesting hybrid, or is it going to be the big media giants who end up eating the little guys because they already have an existing massive user base? So I think it's who's going to be fast to the table, who's going to create real, tangible, practical, innovative solutions, who has enough money to do so and the resources to do so, and what's the appetite of the users themselves. Yeah.
So this has been fascinating. Thank you again for coming to Blockchain Zoo and telling us about mass adoption of blockchain. Thank you for watching, guys. We at Blockchain Zoo are looking forward to bringing our new guest on our next episode. How do you envision blockchain changing the world?
Yeah, well, I think I've just painted a picture for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pretty good picture.
We see, right now, we see so many people interested in validating and working on EcoBricks on our app. So they're logging them, and they're also, like, we just created the system. We didn't quite know how it would happen, whether people would engage with it or not. But wow, we've got a tremendous amount of folks in the UK now who are logging on, going through this list of EcoBricks that we've got. We had a backlog of like 30,000 EcoBricks, and now that backlog's only is at 1,000. And that's without, those folks who are doing it are getting a reward, they're getting the Bitcoins for doing the work, but the Bitcoins aren't worth anything yet. So what we see is that there's a tremendous motivation with folks to solve, be part of the solution, to do something practical, and that doesn't even need a financial reward. We can start to quantify that for them, and I think it's valuable to quantify it, and that's where blockchain comes in as a way to quantify values that we all know exist but haven't been quantified before. And wow, when we give something a value, that's when things change. Well, Laxmini, at the beginning of the interview, you asked me about waste management. And I talked about how the word waste is something that I don't really like the concept, or I try my best to avoid using the term waste or trash, precisely because I think that is at the root of the problem. I see blockchain as a way to transcend the concept of waste, to give value to the valueless, to give utility, to quantify the value of something that hasn't been valued before, to give this value, not necessarily capital or financial economic value as we have in the fiat currencies, but to give it value nonetheless that we can quantify. And for me, that's what blockchain is all about. This is how it can really change the world.
Okay. How do you think the market for blockchain-based solutions will evolve?
I'm excited to see blockchain solutions become more grounded. I think there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air that's not so connected to real world ecology, to people. Here in Indonesia, for example, here in Ubud, lots of people are interested in blockchain, but Ubud and Bali is just a small fraction of Indonesia. And when I get out working with folks in communities around Indonesia, no one's using blockchain. No one's using Bitcoin. They haven't even heard of it, right? And that's hundreds of millions of people, right? You've got 300 million people in your country?
I think so, something
right?
like that.
So by grounding these technologies, then we can really reach and empower hundreds of millions of people.